Now, it wouldn't be a stretch to say that there are a ton of different streaming devices on the market. You have Roku, Amazon, even Apple's kind of throwing their hat into the ring with this whole streaming media thing. But for me personally, the OG streaming device for me has always been the Google Chromecast. It was one of the first devices I've owned. It gave you the ability to basically stream anything directly to a dumb TV, a TV that was not smart in any way, shape, or form. You basically just connect the device to the television, and using your smartphone, you cast anything media-wise from your mobile phone, or basically any device that was compatible with casting could be cast directly to your television set. But over time, other companies got into the market and started offering devices with built-in UIs and remotes and just features that the Chromecast really couldn't compete with, because it was just this device that basically was a standalone device on your television screen. You had to do everything to your smartphone, and it for me became a little bit antiquated and I wanted more, so I ended up moving on to devices like the Amazon Fire TV Cube. But with the release of the brand new Chromecast with Google TV, I think it's about time that I come home, because there's a lot of really cool things that Google's doing with this brand new Chromecast that's going to lure a lot of people that may have left the Chromecast behind for some shiny UI and remote right back home, because it's offering all that and some other really cool features that you really can't find on any of these other devices. So let's talk a little bit about the hardware itself. The new Chromecast really isn't a huge departure from the old one. The form factor's changed just a little bit. It's more oval now instead of circular. It's a little bit flatter, but it connects the exact same way. It's an HDMI plug directly into an open HDMI port into your television set. Power cable gets connected. The new hardware itself has an HDMI 2.0, supports resolutions up to 4K Ultra HD with high dynamic range, HDR10, HDR10 Plus, up to 60 frames per second in 4K. And if 4K isn't available, the content itself is optimized for the maximum resolution that your TV can support. It also supports Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, Dolby Audio Pass-Through Mode, Wi-Fi 2.4 or 5 gigahertz with a Bluetooth 2.2, and it even has a wireless security, so it's a secure device. The new remote has a built-in microphone for voice input that's located between the power button and the source button. And the new remote is actually one of the newest features of the Chromecast. Chromecast before never came with a remote or a user interface to interact with the remote, so the remote is a pretty big thing. The remote is cool. It's a remote. It weighs about 63.8 grams with the batteries in it. It's a small remote, and I think Google's really feeling itself about how it was able to create this really unique small form factor for the remote itself. For me personally, I have really big hands, so I find the remote to be a little bit smaller than I would like. It's smaller than the one that I'm used to using my Amazon Fire TV Cube, but the remote itself is marginable, it's usable, it's a remote. One of the things I really do like about the remote is that you're able to program it to either your television or your soundbar, so you can actually control the audio and the volume directly from the Google remote itself, which comes in handy when you're not using multiple remotes for any given thing. But without a doubt, the overall biggest change you're going to find with the Google Chromecast with Google TV comes with that Google TV portion of the name, and that's the brand new UI that's going to be integrated into the Chromecast itself. The UI is functional. If you've seen a UI on any of these streaming devices before, it looks almost exactly the same. There's a bunch of different applications on screen. There's a continue watching section. There's just some suggestions of media. It is a UI for a streaming app. There's nothing groundbreaking here. The groundbreaking things come with the integration of the different Google-ness features that it offers. One of the best parts of this Google TV for me is the suggested media that it's suggesting for you. The more you use it, of course, the more it gets to know what you like to watch, the more it integrates with the applications that you've downloaded into it, the better the suggestions get. And using it over time, I've realized that suggestions have improved to suggest more things that I personally like to watch. One of the things I don't like about some of the suggested things with these streaming services like a Roku or an Amazon is sometimes the media that is being suggested is not part of the applications that you already pay for. So if you see something that's really interesting, like a movie, you click on it, it's asking you to purchase that movie, rent it, or pay extra for it. And it's not necessarily a part of the cluster of applications like the Netflix or Hulu's or whatever you subscribe to currently within that streaming service. I find that the Google TV actually does a pretty good job of recommending the majority, and I'm like 98% of the things that it's recommending on screen for me are things that are already in the applications that I pay for, which is a bonus because I know that if I see something I like, I can definitely just click on it and not have to worry about paying extra to watch it. And that is a bonus for me, and it's a usability that I just really appreciate. Another really cool thing about it being tied to Google is when I did the initial setup of installing the Chromecast on the television, logging into my account, it was able to pull the applications that were installed on my Android phone. So I use the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus as my main phone. My Google account is linked to that phone. So when I established and set up the Chromecast, it looked through the media applications that I had. Google Home then pulled those applications and in the process of the setup automatically installed like my HBO Max, my Hulu, my Netflix. All of those were pre-installed in the setup, so I didn't have to go in and search for those applications separately to get everything set up. And that is just a great way to get started with everything. Everything was already there and waiting for me. But note that you kind of still have to log into those applications. Netflix ironically logged in automatically for me, which was pretty cool, but I had to log into Hulu separately and I had to register my HBO Max separately. But the applications being there already downloaded once it started up was definitely a benefit and an ease setup for me, so I appreciated it. And this thing supports a ton of different applications. It even supports the Amazon video application. So if you have an Amazon device for Amazon Video, you can actually comfortably switch over to the Chromecast and still have it support your Amazon Video. It supports up to 6,500 different applications, and it gives you the ability to sign in based on your profile. So when your profile is signed in, one of the really cool things you do is you get YouTube recommendations. So your different YouTube videos that you would normally watch on your YouTube recommendation page, there's a specific section for that in the Google TV that you can kind of just scroll down and watch on your television set. Now, speaking of accounts, you can actually link multiple Google accounts to the Google TV. And that's where one of the issues for me pops up, because you can link 1, 2, or 3 accounts, but you can't switch between the accounts for some strange reason. The main account that you've set up with the Google TV is the account that's going to be the main account there. Different suggestions and recommendations are going to appear, but if you have multiple accounts, multiple people using it, then you're going to get recommendations that kind of bleed into each other. I really wish they've included an option for you to switch between the different accounts that are logged into the Google TV itself. Maybe that'll be coming via an update, but as of this launch, it's not available yet. The only real way to switch between accounts is to completely log out of one and log into the other, which makes it really counterproductive and not very user-friendly. And one of the things that I do like about it is you can suspend shows and you have it appear on a continue watch option. So if you're watching something on Netflix, HBO, or Hulu, you suspend the show, you go back in, you have the ability to continue watching. But when you hit that continue watching option, it basically just opens the application and then tries to go directly to that show. But in some of the applications, it doesn't quite pull it off. Like if you suspend a show in Hulu, it'll open your Hulu application, but you would then still have to use the remote to select your account, go into your account, and then the show would be displayed there, and then you would have to hit play again. So it's almost like it's trying its best to get a auto resume through these applications, but since these are third-party applications, it still has to jump through the hoops of going in, logging into your account, selecting your account, and starting the show. So it's almost there, but it's not 100% yet. Now, another really cool thing about it is the integration, of course, of the Google Assistant. One of the best assistants, I think, on the market. It does a great job of just searching for the content that you're looking for. You can actually just, again, press that Google button on the remote itself, ask it to search for something specific, specific via an application or just a generalized topic like action movies, superhero movies, romantic movies, or you can have it search for something like a specific show on an application and it'll pop that application right up and try to open directly to that show. Or if you're looking for a category of movies, it'll give you a pretty good selection of movies. It also gives you what's trending in Google in general, so what other people are searching for, what other people are looking into, what movies are popular across the internet currently, so you have some different options to select from there. I think the Google Assistant does a really good job of replying to whatever search information you place into it. I've run into 1 or 2 hiccups where I searched for a specific show on an application and it opened the wrong application, or it led me to another path where the show was available and not open the application that I wanted it to open. I think over time, as you use it more and as it gets used to the different applications you watch your media in, it'll get a lot more accurate. But again, just a slight little hiccup here and there of it not going to the right place. Overall, I'm very happy with the way the Assistant works via the Google Chromecast with Google TV. So overall, with the Google Assistant, the brand new awesome UI, the cool remote, support for over 6,500 applications, the ability to control your watch list from your mobile device, linking your Google speakers so you can play music across your home while still having the ability to cast from just about any device that supports it. The brand new Google Chromecast with Google TV is actually a pretty good option at $49.99 and it's definitely worth a seat at the table with any other streaming device. So what's your favorite streaming device? What device do you currently use? Go ahead and comment in the comment section down below. Are you looking into the Google Chromecast with Google TV? Such a long name. I don't know why they did that. Go ahead and comment down below. I'd love to know what you think. And while you're down there, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button. It definitely helps the channel out. Hit that subscribe button and that bell for notification. The bell's actually pretty important because it's the only way you guys are going to know when we release some cool, helpful content like this one. Until next time, guys, you can check out some of the other videos we have up on the channel here. And as always, make sure to stay safe. And until I see you next time, peace out.